Hey there YouTube, this is Mr.Lubufu and I'm here with more Fate Reforged spoilers. Happy New Year to all, and Wizards has decided to give us not one, not two, but three new mythics. So we're going to go ahead and cover all the cards spoiled. So let's go ahead and hop right in with Dugtar, I cannot pronounce his name, the Adamant. It's a 4-mana Vigilance that comes into play with 4+1/+1 counters, and for 1 green, black, you can move a +1/+1 counter from target creature onto a second target creature. So it doesn't even require the creatures to be yours, this is an effect that we haven't had for a while. The ability to move around counters that you on creatures you don't control. So you can be like, oh, your guy has counters, yoink. I think this guy's very strong and limited for that reason. I mean, he's already a 4/4 Vigilance for 4. And if you ever get to untap with him, you can start making combat so difficult for your opponent because you could be like, move a counter from my guy to this other guy that you thought you could block and kill, and so on and so forth. Pretty cool. I like his design. Not quite constructed playable. Just a little bit off. A 4/4 is not good enough, but certainly a very powerful limited card. Next we have Monastery Seeds, which instead of costing 3 colorless and a blue like all the other sieges, it only costs 2 and a blue. So like the other ones, you choose cons or dragons. For cons, at the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card, then discard a card. And dragons, spells your opponents cast that target you or a permanent you control cost 2 more. This effect is very powerful. Much like how Thassa was influential at costing 3 mana instead of 4, like the other gods, or the other basic gods in Theros. The fact that this costs 3, and that the effect goes so well in some decks, like the ability to draw 2 loot. Yeah, it doesn't net card advantage, but it nets card quality, which can be a good thing, especially in the late game. You can be like, oh, I don't need any more lands. Bin the land, get spells. Can be a very, very powerful effect. And then the ability to give your permanents spell pierce is not quite as powerful as that, I think, but it still can be influential because it means that these sort of targeted removal spells, Hero's Downfall, Utter End, etc., cost more, which can really delay the game. I think this card is... I talked about how the Red Siege was close. This card is also close to constructed playable. I would not be surprised if it showed up in like a control deck for the cons effect. It's an interesting one, that's for certain. I like it. I'm a blue mage, so of course I would. Next you have Shu Yun, the Silent Tempest. It's a 3-mana 3/2 with prowess, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay red, white. If you do, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. I like this guy too. For limited, of course, I don't think he's quite constructed viable. Another one of these legendary limited, I think, bombs that just will make combat impossible. That, I mean, for in original cons, being on the defense was arguably just made you feel bad because there were so many ways to get blown out. And this is just another one where it's like, well, does he have it? Does he not have it? Oh, your guy has double strike and I lose my guy. Or I take 8 or whatever. This is certainly a bomb for limited. Again, not quite constructed playable. Next we have Monastery Mentor. So, first of the 3 mythics. 2 colorless and away for a 2/2 with prowess, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 white monk creature with prowess onto the battlefield. And with excellent flavor text, speak little, do much, reminds me of Yoda for some weird reason. This guy is really good and limited, that's for certain. Whether or not he has the space to fit into constructed, like if he fits into the Jeskai deck or not, yes, getting more tokens can be a very good way to win the game by going wide with lots of tokens. The question is the fact that it costs 3 just too restrictive? Is it not? I'm not sure. This can be a very powerful card in the right shell, and maybe that shell exists. We don't know. Certainly has upside. Next we have Torrent Elemental, which is a 5 mana 3/5 flyer that whenever it attacks, tap all creatures defending player controls. So pseudo give your team unblockable, and then 3 black green, return Torrent Elemental from exile onto the battlefield tapped. Use this ability only when you could as a sorcery. So basically what it's saying is delve this guy away. He'll come back. They enjoy these sort of come back from exile effects at Mythic Rare in blue with like the Mistform Griffin, I believe it was, which was just a 3/3 that could be cast from exile, which oddly enough used in Legacy combo of Food Chain. This guy, I mean, so if you ever get to attack with this guy, he's really good because he's just like Blargle, tap your whole team, smash your face with all my creatures, and then be able to delve him back. Yeah, it costs. You're essentially paying 5 mana to get, if you get him from exile, to put him onto the battlefield tapped. You're just like replaying him. But he's a 3/5 flyer, which is a nice body for limited. I think this is definitely a limited bomb. I'm not sure if the shell exists for constructed. I think the only as a sorcery clause sort of killed it for constructed. But that's just me. And onto what I think is the most powerful of the 3 mythics, Sorcerer. Sorcerer of the Hunt. It is a 4 mana 4/2 with haste that whenever a creature deals damage or deals combat damage to an opponent, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And then Ferocious, 2 blue green. It's draw a card for each creature with power 4 or greater you control. I would like to say this guy is kind of bonkers. He already triggers Ferocious himself, which is relevant because you could, hypothetically, if you had 8 mana, play him, tap 8 mana to draw some number of cards, hopefully more than 1. You play him. You have to play him pre-combat if you want to get the +1/+1 counters to become relevant, but he makes all your team just get bigger. He has haste, which again combos really well with wanting to cast him pre-combat. And certainly, like, this is a card that I think is really, really close, if not already just constructed playable. I think he needs the right shell, which I think Teamer Monsters, whether or not the shell exists for him or not, because the 4-drop slot is so packed, I've found. But he's pretty good. I like him. In a nice aggressive deck, you can do some serious work with him. I like him a lot. I think Sorcerer of the Hunt is another just bonkers mythic. I am super excited for this set. Thank you guys all for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about all these awesome cards in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys next time.